Have you ever wanted to write a book, but you just didn't know where to start? Our next guest firmly believes everyone has a story to tell. In her book, Telling Your Story, author, speaker, and life coach Bobbi McKenna makes writing your own book as easy as just filling in the blanks. It really is. Thanks for joining us this morning. What a pleasure to meet you.
Well, it's such a pleasure to be in Dallas.
Oh, yeah, and I should also mention that we have an example here as well, Cindy, who she's in the process of writing a book. So we're going to get to you in just a moment.
Great.
But first, you're so busy, author, coach, speaker. How do you find the time to write a book? Most people complain they just do not have the time.
Well, they say they don't have the time. What they're really saying is they don't have a system that makes it easy, quick, simple, and fun. I started writing books in 1994. I wrote 6 books.
Wow.
The first one took a whole year, and now I can write a book in 5 to 8 weeks.
Incredible.
Anybody can do it with my system in 90 days if they have, you know, a couple hours a week to do.
Well, I loved it, and looking at the book, I mean, you start out, you know, talk about your grandparents, then your father, your mother, your school years, and just put down the details. Do you think folks should not worry about grammar and chronology, but just to get it down on paper?
Well, I think in writing a book, what you want to do is find your own voice. You should write the way you speak. So you just write it in your own voice, tell your story.
Keep it plain and simple.
Yeah, tell your story the way you would if you were talking to a friend. One of the things I do in the Write Your Own Book Club, which is something I have for people who want to write a nonfiction book, I get on the phone with them for an hour every week. One of the things I say, sit down at a table, set a timer for 30 minutes, and write down the major points that you would need to communicate to someone who was maybe your best friend who wanted to know about your topic.
So is this your outline, so to speak? So just start with the outline.
Well, it's your table of contents.
Okay.
And it's how can it be any more painless than that? You know, talking to your best friend. So you're just putting down your points that you know you want to touch upon.
The
major points.
Let me bring in Cindy to Fort Worth, because you utilize this book club, and now you are in the process of writing a book about international adoption.
Yes, yes. My husband and I actually adopted a little girl last summer from Russia. We were so inspired. It was such an amazing experience that I wanted to share our story with other people and share some tips and advice that we learned along the way. And I had no idea how to get started. And I accidentally found out about the Write Your Own Book Club, and I joined about a month and a half ago, and I am well into writing my book now. I am so pleased with the results. Bobbi's been terrific.
I think it's great, because I read that you say you talked to him about the table of contents, an outline, copyright, all those things that a lot of people don't know a lot about.
And a great title, and I also tell them how they can publish their own book for $1 to $2 per book, how they can market it, how they can get on TV,
That's awesome.
How they can get radio interviews, how they can get speaking engagements, and it's a wonderful way to promote a business, to start a business, to promote a charity. And, you know, I'm staying at the Wyndham Anatole Hotel. I'm in town for the National Association of Women Business Owners, which is a great organization.
Yes, it is.
And Saturday at 10:30 at the Elephant Statuary, I'd love to have anyone in Dallas who's interested in writing a book come and meet me. You can go to my website, milliondollarsuccess.com, sign up for the book club, and we're all going to have lunch together. There are book club members coming in.
I think that's great.
That's very exciting. It's a lot of fun.
Now, what I thought was really neat in your story, you talked about being honest but not brutally honest. So
that's right.
Distinguish and explain that.
Well, I didn't want people to, this book, Telling Your Story, is how to write your own personal story. And sometimes people see that as an opportunity to get even.
Right.
And so what I wanted to say, that isn't really what you want to do. You want to create a legacy. Do you know what I mean? You want to communicate who you are. You want to write a blueprint for success for yourself and everyone in your family. So, you know, keep that in mind as you write it. And
I thought it was fabulous how you mentioned your Aunt Thora and took it all the way back, you know, to living, they lived in Norway, and how as children they took the skis to get to school, and so it's more of that, just the history and the details.
If you don't write it down, it gets lost.
Right.
I'm sure there are people in Dallas who have incredible wisdom that they want to impart, that they could share, that would really help people, like the things that Cindy learned in adopting her daughter, Yana. And if you don't write it down, you know, it gets lost.
Okay.
So that's why I encourage people to write books. It's a wonderful thing to do.
And we're out of time, but Cindy, real quick, when is your book, when are you finished? And
It'll be out late this year.
okay,
Yes.
we'll have to have you back on and see how it
That
went.
would be wonderful, thank you, and I hope people take advantage of the fact that we'll be at the Wyndham Anatole this Saturday at 10:30 and come and talk to us.
Yeah, by the Elephant Statuary.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. I think that's great. You're inviting people out. And again, thank you so much, Bobbi.
thank
we appreciate
you.
it. Okay. And you can
Thank
find
you.
Telling Your Story in bookstores everywhere. And we'll be right back. So stay with us.